the Hostile Zone, hosted by the infamous and dangerous and much lied about Eric A. Cinotti. This is where public corruption, abuse of power, a waste and misabuse of public dollars, and ultimately using your personal position for gaining power influence over others is met with extreme hostility. Otherwise, everyone else is welcome. Welcome to the Hostile Zone.
Welcome to the Hostile Zone. Yes, you are here live with the infamous and dangerous and in your face, for real, in person, Eric A. Cinotti. Eric Andrew Cinotti. You're here with him. He's here with you. I'm listening to you. I'm accompanied by, as usual, the lovely Bianca C. Say hello.
Hello, everyone.
So here we are. We had an interesting week. Last week we ran into a time constraint because there was so much information to put out with 9/11 stuff, and I didn't want to repeat the continuous beating down of reading names and stuff. Not that it's insignificant or anything, but
it was very emotional.
Yes.
All that.
But I had the taps, right? And let me tell you, we got thank you to everybody that emailed in with regards to your Ave Marie.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
We actually had a funny incident. The mic had this plugged out and we didn't even realize. So thank God. Thank you to production. Thank you to you guys. You guys are the best out there. Wonderful staff we have. They managed to save the audio. We don't unplug the mic in the middle of production. They're yelling at me in my ear to tell me, but I can't. And so it's just whatever. So moving forward, I want to do a slight continuation of what I wanted to finish up last week with regards to 9/11, and that's it. I don't want to go on anymore about the incident of 9/11, but I do have a couple things I wanted to talk about. I went last week down some numbers about how many the different numbers of people that were lost and that kind of stuff, and I did get down to the numbers of how many firefighters and et cetera. But I did want to discuss, and then this is brief. I don't want to go on and I don't want to beat it along. And then we're going to talk about some other stuff that should be exciting for everybody.
Yeah,
a little less hostile.
Oh.
I figured since we're going to start where we kind of left off last week, I'm going to try to remain reverent in the aspect of what I'm going to talk about. Some of it might trigger some people, and it might start some good discussion for another day. But we're not going to beat it down. And
let's see.
Yeah.
Never know what happens here.
Right. What do we have with us? We have our Declaration of Independence. The what?
The pocket book.
Also known as the pocket book for our TV and subscription and streaming people, et cetera, that are watching. You can see me holding it up to the multiple cameras in the room. Yeah. To our satellite and internet and FM AM listeners, that's our standard pocketbook of the Constitution, which I have with me, and I also have my Abraham Lincoln book with me. So, okay, Miss Bianca, we're gonna start reverently on where I was last week. And then we're going to move forward.
All right, shoot.
So literally shoot, I guess, right? Since we are post 9/11, we discussed last week the amount of people and the losses that we faced, in the uniformed services. Okay. Not specifically discussing military, which is what I'm gonna get to a little bit today. But the amount of firefighters, EMTs, and police officers, et cetera. Mm-hmm. But also post 9/11 initiated some military conflicts around the world, and I want to discuss some of those numbers today because I think they were very they're very important, and they're very relevant, right. Very relevant. And I want to make sure that they are equally represented. And we're not just talking U.S. military, we're talking our coalition partners too. So I want to, I want to discuss that. So the United States had been in a military conflict, also known as hostile zones. Interestingly enough, no pun intended, and that was not my intention by any means when we did the name of the show. We were talking about us being hostile towards corrupt people and people who abuse power and look down their nose. This particular hostile zone, war zones, that this is a whole different thing, different stuff. Not trying to compare the two by any means, please. Okay. So we've been involved, meaning the United States have been involved in a military engagement, conflict, war, whatever you want to call it, since 2001, technically until 2021 or so. Ballpark, maybe a little later, whatever, that's questionable. But 2001 to 21, not months, years. We're not talking about the withdrawal in Afghanistan. We're not talking about any of those things. We're just talking about, basic military conflict.
So you're pretty close.
Yes.
Okay.
So for Afghanistan, I'm reading off, going to give some numbers for Afghanistan. There were 2,402 military service member killed in action. KIA, killed in action. 2,402. 2,402. We had a total, and again, these numbers are subject to change. This is just the Operation Iraqi Freedom. And when I say Operation Iraqi Freedom, for my people, military veterans out there, etc., that includes Operation Iraqi Freedom 1, 2, Sentinel Guard, everything else that was congressionally signed off through. We're just talking the country of Iraq and it's the Iraq AOR and our conflict area of operation, AOR, area of operation.
AOR.
All right, so that was for my fellow military veterans out there. Okay, so there was 20,713 wounded and injured military members just for the Iraq AOR, area of operation, for conflict in Iraq and there and around Iraq, the waters of Iraq, the Kuwaiti border, the Saudi border, all of that is considered, and the Syrian border. And I'm not even, by the way, I want to put out there, what I'm about to talk about is just Iraq and Afghanistan. So I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I'm talking about Afghanistan, not Iraq. This is Afghanistan. Total scratch me. I made a mistake. I'm looking at the wrong word, and these numbers, my notes are terrible. When I said the 2,402 military deaths, that was Afghanistan, and the 20,713 injured is Afghanistan. My apologies. That includes the AOR for Afghanistan. That includes things that are on the waters and air, everything related to Operation Iraqi Freedom. There we go. My mistake. Not a freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom. I'm terrible today. I'm having a really mind thing. It's very much apologies. Anybody that's watched, I'm not normally off a little bit. But Operation Enduring Freedom is the Afghanistan situation, bin Laden, etc. So I'm going to read the numbers. 2,402 military deaths for Afghanistan and 20,713 injured service members of all the branches of the military, all the branches. And I want to note that there were 1,822 military contractors that were killed in action. And that was the numbers for Afghanistan. So that is extremely large. Now, moving into Iraq. Now we're talking about Operation Iraqi Freedom. Now I divert back to what I said before. That includes Sentinel Guard, Operation Iraqi Freedom 1 and 2. Now we're in Iraq. There were 4,492 military service members were killed in action in Iraq. 4,492. There I know, right? That's insane, right?
Tremendous.
Yeah, that was deep.
Tremendous.
That's why this was a big deal, and I wanted to make sure I got it correct. So with that, there was 32,292 U.S. military personnel injuries in the line of duty injuries. So you got 4,492 killed in action in Iraq AOR and 32,292 injuries. I want to say also that there are coalition deaths of 318 killed in action from other countries supporting us in these operations. That being said, I want everybody to marinate that thought, because that's all I'm going to go with 9/11 and conflict. I'm going to read them again quickly. Afghanistan, 2,402 U.S. military service members killed in action. 20,713 injured, wounded military personnel, Afghanistan. 1,822 military contractors killed in action, Afghanistan. Iraq, 4,492 United States military personnel killed in action, KIA. Iraq, 32,292 that we know of as of now, and this is last week, injuries to U.S. personnel, military personnel in the Iraq AOR, and 318 that we know of coalition U.S. military killed. With that said, we're going to go to commercial. You marinate that. Don't go anywhere. Come back to the hostile zone.
Use your voice, Cinotti hears you. Use your voice, let it be heard. Use your voice, Cinotti hears you. Use your voice. Use your voice, Cinotti hears you.
This is Eric A. Cinotti. You're asking who this guy is? Eric A. Cinotti is the guy you're going to be listening to at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern on this station and this station only. This is where you're going to be in the hostile zone, where I'm going to pull back the curtain and expose public abuse of public dollars, and people who, yes, use their position for personal gain and use their position to hold you down to expound their life. We're going to pull it back. We're going to show you who they are, and we're going to call them out in the hostile zone. See you there. 6 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Monday. You do not want to miss it.
Use your voice, Cinotti hears you. Use your voice, let it be heard. Use your voice, Cinotti hears you. Use your voice.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the hostile zone. Oh, you jumped in with me. You're here live with the in-your-face and very dangerous Eric A. Cinotti. Eric Andrew Cinotti. That's right. That's me. In the flesh, live here with you, having a conversation, because I hear you and I see you and I see you, multiple cameras, and I see the people that play games out there and use their position to make their life better, to not yours, to make their life better, or to politically target people that they are afraid of. We're not going political, but you know what? Don't use your position to silence and to take away First Amendment rights and to try to destroy people you're afraid of that may take you out of office, or people that have the ability to fund you out of office, to raise money more than you and to get out the vote. People who are more charismatic, people who are just better well-spoken, have better vocabulary, who are just charismatic, can just be there. I'm going to repeat it. Or as somebody quoted, very charismatic. But anyway, Miss Bianca C.
Yes.
How are you this week?
I am fabulous this week.
Really? Really? You're telling look at all the cameras and tell them, I am fabulous.
I am fabulous, 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 fabulous.
There you go. Fabulous. So here we are again, another week. We are doing pretty good, I think. The show is doing well. We're getting a lot of emails, a lot of social media, sponsorships,
Bumping into fans.
Yeah, right. I've actually
good to be talking to people in person, you know.
With pictures, yeah. You know what I mean? Like people want to take pictures. That's great. And quick up note is we are in the process, and we have been making working on some designs for the shirts and hats and etc. Coffee
it's been
mugs.
fun so far, but
Yeah.
it's still in the works. But once there's the final product, we'll be bringing it out soon, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's taking time, but there we are. So, Miss Bianca C, we always give you a note. Do you have something in store, or do you want to marinate the thought for a few minutes, or how about this? I'll make it easy, if you'd like.
Sure.
For the rest of today's show, since we were reverent and I followed through with some information with regards to, the conflicts overseas, we're not going to be going on so hard about particular individuals in office. I do want to get to next week about, President Biden's son is suing the IRS. I don't go political. I do want to make a statement about that. I think that this might be controversial, what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say the truth because I have a law degree. I have a Master of Public Administration. I'm knowledgeable in these areas, regardless of what some clowns might think. So I believe I have a two-folded, and I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to make it easy. I had to go there only because this is news today, and I feel like we are a live radio and TV show. So we are live right now, and we are syndicated, meaning we're everywhere, a lot of places live. So I feel if I didn't, syndication, baby, syndication. So if I didn't bring this up, it'd be like, well, where were you, Cinotti? Where were you? Where were you when you about this? So he's suing the IRS. In a nutshell, because I like to talk too much, and you'll have to cut me off if I go on. I'm going to end it with I'm going to end this in a minute. Ready?
Okay.
Get ready. My thought, and we can talk about this next week. I really would like to, but I believe a two-folded thought on Biden's son suing the IRS. His claim is that they exposed his personal information publicly about his tax life. Okay, here it is in less than a minute. Ready?
Okay.
Number one, he is a private citizen of the United States. Okay. He does not hold political office. He was not elected to political office. He's been not appointed to political office. He is not an employee of the government. He does not receive a paycheck from the government. He does not volunteer to the government. He is not an official representative of the government, nor is he any official representation of anything with regard to public. Hence, and therefore, he's a private citizen. With that said, legally, as a legal analyst, I believe that there is grounds to consider his case. I believe, I'm not going to get into any further than that. I believe on that side of the spectrum, he's a private citizen. Here we go. Now I'm going to follow to the other side because you know what? In my world, I hear both sides of the opinion. And in my world, I believe in hearing everybody. And I don't scream at you when I disagree. The other side, so this way no one will be angry. I'm going to be honest. The other side, his father's in office. He stands next to him in a million pictures. He flies on Air Force One. You see him sleeping and hanging out at the White House. He's been caught using his father's name on recording. His father has been allegedly, I haven't heard, you've been on the phone and discussed it. Therefore, it can be assumed, one can say, that he's living a quasi public life using the office of his father. So, but for that, he'd be a private person, but for my legal people out there.
Okay.
But since he's using or allegedly using, and he's clearly standing next to his father in pictures and flying on these planes and doing these things, then he might be assumed to be a public profile. So with that said, if he is, and you believe that that's the case, then what would make him less from being scrutinized from anybody else that's in public life? There we go. End of that. Moving forward, Miss Bianca, to make your song easy, my thought was, now that was the only political argument for the day because it was in the news and the 9/11 stuff is done.
Okay.
I want to discuss with your perspective, and you're going to ask a lot of questions. And we're going to go to break after I say what it's going to be, and then you're going to be prepared. I wanted to sandbag you today.
Oh,
I sandbagged Miss Bianca today. So she's going to have just a commercial break to decide. And hopefully production runs some of those good commercials that I like. If they hear me back there, I like some of those good commercials. Anyway, so the sandbag is, before we go, we're going to talk about manhood and being an adult and a man in our new generation, post 9/11 in 2023, what it is to be a true man, what you as a female, a very pretty, smart, elegant, classy woman, what you think a gentleman should be. And you ask me, and we're going to have a conversation. What do you think?
I am for that.
And your song will be based on that. That gives you a few minutes to think about it. And with that, people, that's right. Don't go anywhere. The Hostile Zone will be right back.
Use your voice, somebody hears you. Use your voice, let it be heard. Use your voice, somebody hears you. Use your voice.
I am M.A.F.I.A. Cinotti. You've never heard of me. Or yes, you have. You're questioning, have you? You're thinking about it. Either way, you will know me now. 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Do not be anywhere else. Be seated in your car, in your office, on your couch. I don't care what you're doing. Put the remote down. Put the hands-free away. Listen to the radio. You're listening to me, the Hostile Zone, where we pull back the curtain and expose and hold no punches on people that use their position and use your money for no good.
Use your voice, somebody hears you. Use your voice, let it be heard. Use your voice, somebody hears you. Use your voice.
Welcome back. Welcome back. The Hostile Zone. M.A.F.I.A. Cinotti coming at you live. That's right. I'm coming at you live and in your face.
In your face.
In your face, baby. That's right. In your face. All right. So we're live. So we're going to keep it a little fun today. Going live. We're live. We're having fun. We're syndicated. Did you know we were syndicated, Miss Bianca?
I didn't know that.
We are syndicated. We are everywhere. And we got some major other contracts coming up. I mean, it's just amazing stuff going on here.
It's about time. I think we deserve that.
Right, right. Thank you to some of our sponsors and our staff.
That's great.
Thank you, production. I love the commercial. Love it.
It's awesome.
Okay, keep them rolling like that. So anyway, we were going to talk about being an adult and a man, and you can talk about a little bit of a lady too, because you know what, some of the women out there need to know, and I'll tell you what I think. You know, let's go back and forth. Let's just have a conversation.
Okay.
Let's forget that there's cameras and microphones.
Okay.
All right. So tell me what a gentleman is to you.
Well, a gentleman would actually, a gentleman to me would always pull out the chair for you, open doors and close doors for you, because that's how it should be.
Including
that's how
car
you
doors?
should treat a car door. Yes, that's how you should treat a lady, I believe. Yeah,
Right.
and just treat us like a queen, basically. Yeah.
Right. I mean, now my point, and this is a good one, and you're gonna like this, and I think this might be an interesting discussion. I 100% concur with you on this. I believe a real man should treat a lady like a lady. Open the door, help you put your jacket on.
Yes.
Right.
I like that.
Open all doors. You know, walking into the store, walking out of the store, car doors. You know, all this stuff. Help you on with your jacket. Right.
Right.
Chivalry has not died, and I believe it's important. Now, I want to say one, and there's two things actually it came to me. One of them is I'm not throwing my coat on a puddle for anybody.
I wouldn't want a man to, actually, because you know what, it might stain, and then if you're cold, you know.
Yeah, you know, I would give my jacket up if it was cold, but that thing where they talk about, I don't know,
You know, I
people.
don't want you to take off your t-shirt.
But you ever see people throw? No, I'm saying they throw it in the puddle so she can't step. Now to help
I
you.
would like to have your button-down shirt on the ground, you know, and exposed. I mean, that's just.
Oh, that's. Remember, we're live now. Now production's going to yell that we got to edit out because we don't want to get into bed.
Oh, it's just a little-
But and the other thing I was thinking of was when you walk down the street with a lady, the man should be with the female should be walking with the buildings to her left, and the man is closest to the curb for the street.
You are right.
That is original chivalry.
Yeah.
You know, when and I believe when you if you're on a date or it's your lady, you hold. Let's give a little sample for our viewers. You walk with your arms crossed and you walk with the lady, but you would be on the other side. I get because the TV camera reverses us. But you know, you would be on my left, the gentleman's left, because my left side would be the building, and the woman would be on the building side. I'm on the street side. Yeah. There's some reasons about why that's the case. If a car came off the road, there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole prohibition, 1800s kind of thing about that.
Is like you wouldn't want your lady to be exposed to the street,
splash with water, right, in a puddle, right.
It's part of a protection too, because you don't want just to show her off on the street like that, you know. So
right,
it's nice to have her.
And that's a conversation too about exposure in general. But I mean, I guess some will speculate that it's because of driving by horse and carriage. Back in the day, could have splashed something up, and people didn't have sewage then, so it could be sewage. And it could be back in gangster days of prohibition, gunfire from a vehicle or a horse and carriage.
At any time, you know, if something happens, you're there to protect.
The wall is a barrier, right? The wall is the building's a barrier, and I become that barrier between the moving object and the wall, I guess. I don't know. Email us, please, if you have a question. If you have an opinion on it, send an email. Let's talk about it.
That's part of my questions too. You know, like on a first date, how a man would treat me, and that is one of my tests, actually.
And you know what? And gentlemen, younger gentlemen, when you go to pick up, I know it's a 2023. We're in a very modern world. I live in it with you, right? We're all here, but you could send a text message or a call to the date that you're picking up, that you're arriving, but get out of the car and come to the door.
Yes.
If she lives with her family, ring on the bell and say hi to the father or mother, shake their hand.
Be happy.
Right. You can always, I'm not saying don't text her and say, I'm here, I'm pulling up. But at least be a man, be a gentleman, and get out of the car. I think so. Right. Thank you. And then walk her to the car and open the door for her. So yeah, I think that's important. I mean, I do too. And I believe texting has been
flowers too.
Flowers, right, and that's.
But you know what? Not all women like the flowers, but me, I love flowers.
Right.
So I think even just one rose is very sexy. By the way, if you just bring one rose, that's very thoughtful.
I think it's the point then that you did it. You know, that you thought of that person. Now, funny you should say that, because I want to say something and I want your opinion.
Sure.
Because I'm sure I'm going to get blasted by a lot of people for talking about chivalry and whatever, opening doors. I carry packages. I pick things up and put them down. I build things. Yeah, Tim Allen. There's a picture of me and him online. Yes,
Sweet,
yes. Good guy, nice guy. Hey, Tim. Anybody that doesn't know that show, then sorry, look it up. Anyway, that's what I believe I'm supposed to do, whether I'm good at it or not. You know. But ready? Here's the question. There's been some studies and discussion about women, the modern woman, believing that that makes them weaker, or that we see them in a subservient or a below me or a weaker status than a man. That I have to that opening the door for you is like she's not good enough to do it herself, or not strong enough, or the boxes or whatever. And I think that that goes along with the diminishing and erasing lines of gender in our world.
Right. I totally think it's opposite. I mean, I may be old fashioned, but I feel if a man opens the door for me, that is like putting me on a pedestal.
Right.
You know,
But do you think that makes you feel any less as a woman, like you're not intelligent or not strong and not independent?
You know what? It makes me more it makes me feel that like more inferior, you know, like more woman.
Right.
You know?
I mean,
like I said, I feel like I'm put on a pedestal.
Right.
You treat me like that? Wow, kudos.
Right. And
I never feel dewomanized or, if you want to open a door, feel free. Hey.
I was reading an article and I watched, a lot of the shows, and there was people saying that that have had negative remarks made to them by women specifically, when guys have held the door and done things like that. And that's the conversation,
I may get hated on this, but
we get hated on half of the stuff we do. So
I feel like a woman that doesn't like that, something happened to them and they don't know how to be treated right. And that's, I think in their mind, they don't want that.
Right.
They're not used to that.
It's kind of, it is what it is. It's kind of like you say hi to somebody kind of thing. I don't know. Everybody gets so triggered and upset now about anything. You can't say anything. I personally don't care. That's why it's the hostile zone. I don't really care. I'm hostile.
You never know. When you say hi to a person and make a compliment, it might make their day.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just kind of like weird to me. But my point is, what other things you think? I mean, it's a different world. It's a different world.
I got to tell you something from a lady's side.
Tell me from a lady's side.
Tell me if this is true.
Yeah.
I always, I feel like it's an equal thing, but after a man opens the door for you to go in the car, even if it's a modern thing, even if it's like an old-fashioned or a new car, there's a way of opening that door.
I believe it. The Bronx Tale. If you saw the movie The Bronx Tale,
that's a test too. So it feels like I never want to fail that test.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm losing the sound. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great. The movie is great. In the movie, we're not going to get too much about the movie, but this young man is told by somebody he looks up to in a mentor status, when he takes this girl out to on a date.
Yep.
That when he opens the door for her,
every Jersey girl
walk around the back of the car and look through the rear of the door and look to see if she yes, there you are, demonstrating. If she reached over and unlocked your door. Now, yes, there's an unlock button, but if you took the time to open the door and let her in, is she going to unlock the door for you on the other side? Hold your thought. We're going to go on a break. Don't go anywhere. The Hostile Zone. Stay tuned. You're going to love this commercial. Come back.
Use your voice, Cinotti hears you. Use your voice, let it be heard. Use your voice, Cinotti hears you. Use your voice, Cinotti hears you.
This is Eric A. Cinotti. You're asking who this guy is? Eric A. Cinotti is the guy you're going to be listening to at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern on this station and this station only. This is where you're going to be in the hostile zone, where I'm going to pull back the curtain and expose public abuse of public dollars, and people who, yes, use their position for personal gain and use their position to hold you down to expound their life. We're going to pull it back. We're going to show you who they are, and we're going to call them out in the hostile zone. See you there. 6 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Monday. You do not want to miss it.
BBS Radio TV rocks the world in interactive live talk, web TV, and radio. I could go on, but I'm in the middle of an episode and they only let me watch 24 hours a day. And that's just not enough.
Use your voice, Cinotti hears you. Use your voice, let it be heard. Use your voice, Cinotti hears you. Use your voice.
And we're back. We're back. I love it. I love it every time we're back. All right. So.
Oh,
Yes.
question 2.
Yes.
Continuing what we were talking about for
We have to remind our people that are just.
Unlock the car
You have
door.
to tell them where we are. Bronx Tale.
The Bronx Tale.
Opening the door.
Opening the door.
All right.
Also, one thing of his mentor, he also said, if she doesn't unlock that door, dump her fast.
Dump her.
Dump her fast. She's a selfish broad, he said.
Dump her. Dump her.
And I'm like, I never want a man to ever think I'm a selfish broad, so I make sure I undo that. So I'm just saying.
Dump her, he says.
Dump her fast.
Oh, I have to put out, I forgot.
What if she's one of the good ones? Don't matter, dump her.
Dump her. I need to put out that those of you that like movies such as The Bronx Tale and Godfather, etc., check out in Atlantic City. Michael Francis will be speaking and having discussions about the life prior to his life now, but the life with regard to movies such as The Godfather, Bronx Tale, etc.
Mm-hmm.
He will be at Caesars this week. Check him out, Atlantic City, Caesars. There you go, Michael. You're welcome. All right. Now back. Where are we?
Well, what we were saying, a mentor saying dumpa.
Dumpa. And I almost forgot to put out.
And she might be one of the good ones. Don't matter. Dump her fast.
Dump it fast. So now that we discussed people feeling, not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but I believe a man should treat a lady with respect. I also believe on the first date, when you take a woman out, and you know what, honestly, let's just say when you take a woman out or anybody out and you invited them out, I'm talking as a straight man. Okay. I'm not trying to offend anybody. This is a straight man because I don't want to insult anybody else, and I don't know what that's like, and I don't know whose role plays what role. So I'm just talking as a straight man. Well, you should pay the bill.
I agree.
You should pay the bill. You invited the woman to dinner, and I believe this in anything. If you invite somebody to come out for coffee with you, you don't say let's meet for coffee. You don't say let's whatever. If you ask somebody, let's go out. I've asked you out on a date, Miss Bianca. Mm-hmm. I should pay. I mean, that's in general, but everything in life. If you say join me for, I'm inviting you out somewhere, then I'm assuming that you're going to come. I'm going to pay because you didn't ask me. I asked you, and it's rude. Not even as a female male. It's rude as an individual to invite somebody somewhere, and then they now are obligated to say yes, maybe. And then what happens if they don't have the funds to pay for it? And now you just invite them and you go to, I don't want to name because they're not a sponsor of the show, but a high-end restaurant or whatever, and they can't afford it.
And I also say, even though you get invited, you should always be prepared to have enough as well, because you never know.
Some guys are stupid like that. Yes, go Dutch, and they don't say nothing.
Exactly.
Whatever that means, I don't even know. Dutch people, call us in, let us know what that means.
But
I don't know.
But it's also polite to offer to pay.
Right, and you know what? And nobody, and they shouldn't, and they should. That's up to the female if they want the lady, but the man should pay.
Yes,
I mean, and it's not a sexist thing. I've invited you to dinner. I'm a man. I just believe that that's what I should do. You know, I believe in later in relationships. Yeah, you know, you split things, you share, you go back and forth, etc. You become a team. But that's important. I think that bit. But don't you agree? Right?
It's part of etiquette. That it's in the etiquette rule book.
I think so.
You should,
I think so. Yeah.
You invite someone.
People forget about that.
I know.
It's not good posture. Like just good hygiene, good hygiene. Gentlemen, clean your nails under your nails, okay?
Yes.
Clean under your nails. There's nothing wrong with running a little nail file on your nails, running a little buffer on your nails,
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with it. It has nothing to do with your sexuality. Back in Jersey, In Jersey, we called it metrosexual. Remember that? Those words, metrosexual, where you were metropolitan. Metro, do I did? We did our hair, Metro Jersey Shore guys. We had our hair. You could see I get my hair cut once a week. I use more product in my hair probably than you do.
I tease a little bit.
I got,
so, the higher
the blow dryer going. I got gel and hairspray. Feel that? I had gel and hairspray in here. Yeah, got a little close up. Look at and I got all my hair. Yeah.
That's pretty. It's there.
Right.
It's on there, good.
Yeah, and thinking I'm not losing my hair. People that believe otherwise, there it is. I'm showing it to you. Anyway, but metrosexual. There's nothing wrong with cleaning your nails, taking care of yourself. I could say as a professional, I've gone to meetings to meet somebody else to discuss a business deal, a consulting, whatever it might be, and they put a jacket on. This is a sports jacket, not a suit. People, there's a difference between a suit and a sports jacket.
Yes.
A suit is the trousers, pants, trousers are part of the jacket. They are a set. That would be a suit. Now you could take the jacket that's in a suit and make it a blazer by wearing it with a different pair of slacks or a pair of jeans or whatever. Today is a blazer because I have different slacks on. Anyway, the point I went off on that is because people will come and put a suit on or a blazer, show up at a meeting, and then go to shake my hands. And I look at your hands. They got dirt and crap all under their fingers. Firstly, you didn't try. You didn't show enough respect to me to show up. You didn't. You just, I don't know, hygiene, people, manicure yourself. 90% of your success is what you look like.
Your clothes as well, because it shows that you care.
Yes, people, iron your clothes. Okay,
it's
anyway.
Unbelievable how people just walk out and just like wear a wrinkled shirt like nothing. I'm
you have to give us a tune.
Oh,
no, I'm sandbagging you. What's the tune based on today's theme?
I thought it would be appropriate for Etta James.
All right, real quick.
At last.
All right, let's get a little piece, not too long.
Okay.
Let's pop it in.
All right. At last, my love has come along. My lonely days are over, and life is like a song. Oh, yes, at last, the skies above are blue.
Wow, that was great. Wonderful. Let's take a bow.
The night I looked at you.
There it is. So, with that, I want to mention something. You were talking about when a gentleman and a lady are walking down the street.
Yes.
And them being exposed, being exposed to the elements. What is your opinion, or maybe I don't know what is my opinion anymore? So, the exposure of females in skin and clothing.
Well, there are rules.
What are the rules? Tell our fans and our listeners and viewers what the rules are. And I'll tell you as a man what I think. And then we can go back and forth.
We're probably going to disagree on this, but
we can agree to disagree because it's a hostile zone. So let's go for it.
Well, there are rules. If you are wanting to, you always have to just focus on one part of your body. So if you're exposing your cleavage.
What is cleavage to our people that don't know what that is?
Cleavage is below the eye level, chest area. The chest area.
When you meet a woman, make eye contact. Never go at the lowest you can look is the lips. And there is rules on where to look based on if it's a job, professional friend, and a date. Okay, go on. Cleavage. So the breast area. Not using any.
There is a rule, like it can't be too much porno. It has to be subtle. Also, if you're doing the cleavage, you have to cover up everything else because you would just want to have that focus.
Meaning, not too much thigh.
Not too much thigh.
And what they would say, cheeky butt kind of thing.
Not too much of the mid area.
Midriff, right? Midriff, whatever that's the stomach. Belly button
area. If you're gonna do midriff, it's not good to show the.
So basically, let me ask you. Okay, as a man, basically, when boobs or chest is completely pushed out, and the shirt is very short, and I can see a belly ring and the stomach, and a pair of shorts that are very high in the front and hiked up in the back. It's kind of up the butt crack kind of thing. That's inappropriate, in your opinion.
I think
in
it's
your opinion.
inappropriate. There's a time and place for everything.
Okay, but you're saying
basically, if you dress like that,
all of them are okay, but not together.
right? But give me this question.
Okay.
If you see a woman dressed like that, would you really take her seriously?
Very good question. Wow. If it were a first appearance and with me, no, I'm trying to get this to not stunned. I'm not stunned. I have to, because you know how I speak. I don't have a filter, so I need to. I just need to make sure that I say it correctly.
Okay.
If it were a girl I met first time, my opinion of what my intentions might be with her might be different than otherwise. Yes. So, but do I think if you're with that person and you're in a relationship with somebody and they are dressed like that and you both are comfortable like that, then I think that that's appropriate, as long as you're not in a place that you're disrespecting people at church, place with children, etc. I also think that a man should never make a remark to a woman about anything of that, regardless of what she's wearing. I think it's rude. And I think that women should be cognizant, thinking about what it is they wear, about what image they want to portray. Same as I just said, gentlemen, you come to a meeting, clean under your nails, clean the dirt out. Right. There's nothing wrong with being a labor person and getting dirt under your nails every day for work. This is okay.
Right. Oh, but there's another thing that I hate what guys do. Never wear socks and sandals with shorts.
Oh, yes.
We're
turning into a fashion show.
To me, like, I don't even talk to me if you wear that. No.
We're turning into a fashion show.
That's one of my things. It's part of, how you dress.
Right.
It's what attracts. If you're gonna dress like that, you're attracting the wrong person.
Right.
That's what
and I say, and we're not that kind of commercial kind of show, and we went this direction this week only because we were following up on 9/11. Next week we'll be back to beating people up.
We like to tap a little bit.
We're going a little everywhere because
style zone. You never know.
Right. And you know what?
It's gonna be.
We have a good following now, very large following. I get a lot of emails and a lot of messages. So I want to make sure that people hear what I think and what you think. And I think that men, there's nothing wrong with being a man, but at the same time, you don't have to be smelly and stinky. Something, what I mean? Like they expect us to be dirty, smelly, stinky. Put some deodorant on. Wash your body. Take a shower. Take a shower. Take a shower every day. Sometimes twice if you sweat your butt off.
Surprisingly, around the summer, I
we smell people when they go, right?
And I'm like, oh my God. And also, girls, when you go from the bathroom, wash your hands.
Yes, wash your hands. Even if you use the urinal, wash your hands too. All right. And people use a paper towel. Don't grab the handle on the way out the door because 90% of the people didn't wash their hands. So you're grabbing the dirty handle anyway. You didn't. Why wash your hands? Right. Use a handle. Yeah, use the handle with a paper towel.
Somebody else is in the bathroom and you don't wash your hands. There's always
somebody's looking at
your shoes.
For women, for shoes.
Right. This person is nasty.
Yep. And the guys, we see you. I see you when we went to the urinal and you just walk out. If I run into you later on, I'm not shaking your hand. And I tell everybody, don't touch that guy.
Reputation. Yeah. We'll talk very quickly.
Right. Forget COVID. Forget COVID rule, just in general.
Right.
But, take care. Cologne. I think you should wear cologne. I mean, I'm a big avid cologne person. I have a cologne sponsor, actually, what we're talking to. So I'll be discussing what cologne.
I love cologne. If I smell a guy, and I'm like, even if it's from across the room, I'm going to freaking find where that smells.
Oh, here's another one.
I will compliment.
This is from ladies and gentlemen, okay? It is totally appropriate to use a baby wipe in the bathroom. Yes. There you go. Not only when you're like sitting on the bowl, man, just use a baby wipe in general. It's considered a hot spot in the military, clean the hot spots. Wipe the stuff off. Wipe everything off, especially if you went out on a date. And who knows? You know what I'm saying? Nobody's interested in what you got going on from all day,
Right.
especially if you didn't shower all day.
Right.
You know what I mean? See, now if you should have showered,
Girls do
but
that.
we're going back to people that don't clean their fingernails and don't shower.
Girls do that with the feminine wipes.
And there's nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, you should use it. You should just, I mean, I don't know what, I was talking about with somebody the other day. Well, what did the world do before baby wipes in the bathroom?
I mean, people used to wet paper towels.
Yeah, I mean, the Europeans had the bidet, so good for them.
Yeah.
All right, so we are running on the end of time, but we had a fun one today, though. We had a fun one.
Enjoyed it.
So the question is, I'm going to leave, and then we're going to have you end it out properly. But I'm going to pose it to people. What do you think a gentleman or a lady is? I think there's everybody has their own definition, but I think that I gave some good points. My agent was telling me to put more stuff on the YouTube channel and etc. So follow me, check me out, the Hostile Zone on YouTube as well, because I do give you some tips and hints on how to act and what I think as a man. I also give a little bit more of the comedy and do more of the Jersey kind of talk, for the acting purposes.
Oh yeah, I see that too. My clock is ticking like this.
We were talking about doing some skit stuff, actually, the agent said, so we might do some funny stuff like that. The Hostile Zone on Facebook. Again, Sonny Francis, his son, Michael Francis, is in Atlantic City. Caesars. Check him out. All right, Michael, I gave you that's 2 props. All right. Close us out properly, Miss Bianca C.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what a breath we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets reclaimed, the bombs bursting in air, yet through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave for the land of the free? Woo. And the home of the brave.
And the Hostile Zone will see you live next Monday. Do not be late.
Use your voice, Cinotti hears you. Use your voice, let it be heard. Use your voice, Cinotti hears you. Use your voice.
Thank you for listening to the Hostile Zone, because in Cinotti's Zone, I hear everything, everywhere. For everyone else, see you next Monday for more outrageous talk, where we pull back the curtain and hold no punches. From me to you, have a great week. And remember, everyone, treat others kind, treat your family kinder, and always love our country.